Hi, and welcome to the Loving Me Before We workshop. Do you identify with any of the following? You fear that you won't find the right person or feel inadequate. Dating has become an emotional roller coaster, not really a time of joy. So you're not living in the present moment. Or when you meet a good guy, you're already thinking about the babies you'll have together, how good the wedding pictures will look, all the kisses you'll have together. Or if it's a guy you don't match with, you totally just ghost them because we don't know how to assertively communicate. Or worse, on an actual date, you put up with degrading jokes. Perhaps he comments the hot waitress. If you identified with any of those statements, buckle up, get your notebook. We're gonna dive into a lot of content. So a little bit about me. My name is Carolina, and I am a coach with the Women's School, where our mission is to rebuild culture, one woman's worth at a time. And we also help women build a business by rebuilding women's worth. So if you're a single gal or you're going to be dating, this is for you. First, we can't talk about modern dating without talking about the internet. We all have phones in our pocket. All of a sudden, we have FOMO, fear of missing out. We have commitment issues. We no longer have one party to attend, but we have 5 or 10. There's lack of clarity on what we want and don't want. Perhaps even you know what you don't want, but have no idea or are shying away from what you do want. No one is guiding us to know what we want, what we don't want, and saying no to what we don't want. Now we need to learn how to communicate online, how to get to know them on a deep level, and how to draw firm boundaries without ruminating on guilt, without even mentioning the confusion that there is right now between men and women about their roles. This is causing hesitation and lack of confidence. Men are no longer approaching us. They're scared. The current narrative is equality, which is great, but we're now confused about who is doing what we want, what we don't like. But wait, I do want that, but is that equal? You'll often hear, I don't need you to help me, but I want to know that you want to help me. January Donovan, the founder of the Women's School, talks about how she encountered a woman who said she feels weak when a man is helping her fix her toilet or open the door for her. It just makes her feel weak. Well, it's not that you're weak, it's just that they want to help. And let's not even start with the lowering of standards. Standards are lower than they were 100 years ago. We have to reteach politeness, being kind, being respectful to people, and casual dating is a new lifestyle. You'll often hear, well, we have a thing, women confused about what are we, or simply justifying that they're in a phase or they're not getting what they deserve. Well, he responds to my stories, but he doesn't really answer when I send him a text. What are we? Or me when I was 18 years old.
Well, I don't really want anything serious, so it's fine if he's not that into me.
Let me tell you, it does matter, and those actions that I was doing at 18 years old, I'm still sorting through now. I'll show more on that later. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling confused, you probably have a legitimate reason for feeling that. Don't worry, I have solutions. I'm not just gonna address the problem and not give you solutions. So first, we have to look at where we're at. We're gonna look into the limiting beliefs that we may have, our self-image. Second, we're gonna look at where we wanna be, what a woman wants, what we truly desire, so that we may put the RAS, the reticular activator system, at work, and why it's important to focus on what you do want and not what you don't want. Number 3, we're gonna look at how to get there. How to actually gain the practical tools, the hammer, the screwdriver, all of that to design the beautiful house that we want, so to speak. Let's start with our mindset. What is a mindset? It's a combination of feelings, attitudes, and beliefs that we have about a certain topic without even knowing if it's valid or not. Example, when I was 18, I used to think all men just wanted to take advantage of you. And so I just assumed that was the case for all men. Here's 7 limiting beliefs that are probably jeopardizing your chances of having a successful dating relationship. First one, I just have a lot of time as a single woman. If you're binging on shows, social media, and maybe even attending all the social events there are out there, you may probably not be intentionally developing yourself to become that woman that you do want to be. 2, the focus is on finding the right person instead of becoming the right person. 3, there's no good guys left. We inherited some beliefs that are not serving us, and we need to rewire them and replace them. You won't give a good guy a chance because you've already assumed he's probably not good. 4, dating today is hard and confusing. It's hard when we have no standards or no guidance and no clarity. How much training does an athlete have to go to the Olympics? How much training does a doctor have to be able to perform any kind of treatment on patients? How much training does a therapist have? What about us? It's our life, and we're just kind of grabbing whatever media is teaching us, whatever our friends advise, whatever we think is right. 5, confident women find it hard to date. It is if you lack the skills to invite and inspire. For example, yeah, I got your text, thank you. As opposed to, I really enjoy receiving your texts. Same exact script, different tonalities. 6, a man will make you feel complete. Finally, you will be happy. Finally, you will have that joy that you were looking for. No man can fulfill your needs. If you're not feeling happy and joyful right now before you're even dating, chances are you're not going to feel happy and fulfilled when you do have a partner. And that is a tremendous burden that is placed on another person to make you happy. For example, I stayed in a relationship because he was the only person that I had to listen to my needs, to listen to me. I didn't have anyone else to rely on. If your other 7 arenas are not developed, you will likely fall into a codependent relationship, and it will become a relationship of use, meaning you're there because you need them, not because you want to be with them. The effects on our current happiness, on our future self, our future marriage, our future children are devastating. And the list goes on. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough for this man. I can't be myself. I tolerate certain behaviors. Please take the wholeness quiz in my bio to address your other 7 arenas. I'll never forget the time where I had met a guy for 3 dates and I could not get him off my mind. I was at work and my mind was just playing images of him, of his smile, of his face. Until I bumped into the arena wheel for the first time. My sister was doing her women's school homework and I was like, what is that? 8 arenas that I said, he's not all that there is to me. The intimacy arena is not all that there is to you. All the other parts of you are very important. And if you invest all of your energy in intimacy, you will likely fall into a codependent relationship. A relationship where you're using them to fulfill your needs, not choosing them because you want to be with them. Genuinely, authentically. So how do we get there? How do we have that amazing relationship we want to be in? Take a moment, pause the video, and on your notebook, write down 4 different columns. One will read what I want in a man. One will read what I don't want. The third will read non-negotiables. And the 4th will read bonus. Study that list, paste it on your wall. We have to live in the details. I had a student tell me, well, I want a man who is just a man of God. Yes, that's beautiful, but we need to live in the details. How will you know when you found gold if you don't know what gold looks like? You need to study your desires. And most of us have been told that our desires, what we want, is not realistic, it's not accomplishable. Don't dream big because you'll get disappointed. And that is a huge, huge lie. What we need to do with the desires is not indulge them, not reject them, but study them and develop them. Make them mature, because your desires will lead to the dream, and the dream will lead to that contribution. Wouldn't you want a marriage that you're just, every day, they're just deeper and deeper in love? And we need more marriages like that. That is a marriage that my mentor, January Donovan, has. Why? Because she studied her dreams, she developed herself, and she never stopped looking for what she programmed herself to look for. It's not a magical thing that happens to only a few. You can get this if you have the right tools. Okay, so what do women want? What do we want? I don't know what to put on my list, Caro. Number 1, admiration. And it's not the admiration of drooling over someone, but it's the admiration that is deep. The admiration that just something inside of you changes you. A beautiful sunset, a baby, an admiration that is deep and that causes a change in the other person. Wouldn't you love a guy who admires every single part of you just as you are? Would this be a reminder of the love that God has for us? I think so. An admiration that inspires. We don't need the admiration to feel worthy. But you actually want that. You don't want the opposite. Someone who thinks of you as a lesser person. 2, we want someone who accomplishes dreams and goals. Someone who can say, hey, this is the goal that I had. I took action on it and I achieved it. It reveals character, confidence, and safety. Why safety? Because we feel safe when we know we don't have to have it all together 24/7. Someone who can say, hey, you're tired, I got it. No, it doesn't mean we're dependent on them, but it means, hey, right now I want to take care of this baby and I need to stay home and nurture them in this season of my life. He's going to take care of the other needs. Someone who is capable of taking action. 3, someone who is mentally and emotionally resilient. No one wants a man who you can't even cry to, or someone who you can't even process things with. Or on the opposite side, someone that you need to be constantly caring emotionally. Someone who you can just say, hey, I just need to process this because I'm not currently at my highest self. Little story on this, I was at a bar one night and I had a few peers with me, and I had a man totally disrespect me. And the men that were in that circle of friends didn't do anything. They were just scared. That is what we don't want. Not someone who is violent, but someone who will stand up for you and let someone know when you're in a vulnerable space what should not happen. 4, we want to feel pursued because novelty and adventure is key in the years to come. If you're currently in a situation where you're not sure what this guy wants, you're not sure what his intentions are, red flag. January tells a story of how when she met her husband, he just looked at her straight in the eye and he said, can I tell you why I'm here? I'm very interested in you and I want to get to know you more. Someone who knows what they want with you and who is not afraid of commitment. Someone who is afraid of commitment, he's not the one. Even if he has other qualities, but he's scared of commitment, he's not the one. You are worthy of being pursued and being someone who is intentional about that. We need to live in the details. We may think that we have it good, but we actually don't. Someone who just takes out the trash, oh yeah, he's good, he helps me. And let me tell you, observation is key. My mentor January would sit at people's homes and just take notes of a marriage. January tells a story of when she met this couple. That woman's freedom, her laugh, her joy, and the way that the man was just talking about her on and on and on about how admired she was years into the marriage. January said, how do I get that? How do I get that marriage? Well, the question is not, how do I get there? The question is, how do you become that person so that you may attract that man? Ladies, we have 50% divorce rate in America. What makes us think we're not going to be one of them? We need to live in the details. We need to study the successful marriages. How are we preparing ourselves and building the skills to make one of the most important decisions of our life? We cannot turn a blindfold and say, yes, we have an excellent chemistry. Yes, we have fun together. That is not enough. I promise. Love is not about just feelings. Love is about skills, virtues, compromise, commitment. If you're not developing yourself right now, you are setting up yourself for failure. If we want a relationship where we're constantly being pursued, we need to learn the skill of being an inspiring woman, not staying the same woman every year and being so depleted. Your marriage is falling apart one day. You don't know what to do with the kids. You don't know how to manage your home. If you want a relationship where you're both dreaming and you're becoming different persons every single day, every single year, then we need to learn the skill of dreaming now. My mentor's dreams with her husband. She has dream sessions twice a month. Imagine the effort that it takes to pursue such dreams. You will have to become a different person. So how do we get there? We need to marry whole. You cannot say, all I want is to be a mother. All I want is a relationship. And one day you wake up, you have that, and your marriage is falling apart. You don't know who you are. You're so depleted. That's why we have all these narratives about how hard motherhood is, the mommy brain, all men are this and that. Well, we don't have the skills. We don't have the mindset. We are not becoming that woman first. So how do we become that woman first? One, she dreams. She's not waiting for a man to dream. She is dreaming and finding her passion as a single woman. She is not shying away from her fears. And if she is confronting them every day, working on her mindset, pivoting and working on her fear of failure, her fear of what other people may say, her managing her critics, rewiring her self-worth. When a woman studies her desires and gives herself permission for them to become dreams and then goals, that is inspiring. God is constantly inspiring us dreams and desires in our hearts, but we discard them as being vain or selfish or not to be indulged on. No, we need to develop them. When a woman is sharing on a date, perhaps her pursuit of building an orphanage or helping out in an orphanage, that speaks volumes of her. That speaks like she's a woman of action. She's a woman of discipline. She conquers her fears. She has her self-image. There is a nurturing layer that is so inviting about that. 4, men want to sign up for women who dream because every human heart is attracted to hope. To dream is to hope for something different. To hope for things different than they currently are. To imagine something more beautiful. Humanity is made for expansion, and if you're not growing every day, you are slowly dying. A motivated woman is inviting someone who is on Netflix, binging on social. When you have dreams, you wake up every morning inspired to get them, and every day might feel like such a tiny rock on that dream, but you are hiking that mountain and you know you will get there. January Donovan, she has 8 children. She has a business. She has a loving, beautiful, striving relationship. She is an author. She is so inspiring. I mean, their relationship, it's constantly growing. It's not stagnant. It's an adventure every day. It gets better every single year. I mean, where do we see those marriages where you can say, he is more in love with me than he was yesterday and yesterday and yesterday. So ones that we have are wants, our don't wants, our non-negotiables, and our bonuses. We need to activate our reticular activator system. The part of our brain called the reticular activator system was designed so that we can focus. Have you noticed when you are shopping for some white shoes, all of a sudden you start seeing all the girls who have those white shoes? Or perhaps you want to change your hair color. All of a sudden you start noticing all the girls that have the certain hair color that you want. Why? That is your reticular activator system focused on what you want. Because if you start focusing on what you don't want, guess what? You likely will start seeing all those guys that have all those red flags, and you're like, where are all the good men? Let's talk about skills now. What skills will we need? Manage our anxiety and our stress, because be a woman of routine. We need to know how to have boundaries and saying them with grace. Get what you're saying, but here's what I think. As opposed to, hey, I really value your opinion and I see what you're saying. Is it okay if I share my opinion now? Or, why did you do that? As opposed to, I was really hoping you'd make a better decision. I have seen couples just screaming at each other. How long will it last before they just can't take more? Knowing how to create inviting spaces, managing our time, dreaming, processing our emotions. Wouldn't you want a guy who says, hey, you know what? I want to take a moment for myself because I really don't want to say something that I'm going to hurt you. I mean, yes. Wow. As opposed to someone who is just like a roller coaster. We need to become that woman first so that we can spot those kind of men. Developing a strong self-image. If we don't know how to take care of ourselves, if we don't know how to look ourselves in a positive light, how will we expect to find someone who does? Building a morning routine, building an evening routine, kitchen skills, cooking skills, cleaning skills, managing our health, managing our body, managing our fears, managing our failures. Have you heard mothers who feel inadequate, who don't feel like they're doing a good job, who don't feel to learn how to manage all of that from now, not when you're already swimming and you're trying to save a bunch of people. We need to learn those skills now. Developing a resilient mindset. All right, so let's talk about the date. What do I do once I'm actually in a date? Your only goal should be to contribute. You're not there to interview him. She's not there to see what she'll get and grasping and emotionally engaging in this fantasy that might likely end in 2 weeks if it doesn't work out. She's just there to be a gift, to have integrity with her mind and her thoughts. You're not trying to figure out X, Y, or Z about how he will give to you and make you his wife. And even accountability is a gift. There can be some bad dates. Keeping that person accountable, whether he's just staring at all the waitresses passing by. We can literally just put up with someone looking at other women while we're there. Or we can address it in an assertive manner. Looking at them and saying, hey, do you typically look at other women when you're on a date with someone else? You're contributing to his humanity, and that is inspiring. Imagine if men were meeting inspiring women left and right. Imagine how different this world can be. And no, the burden is not on us, but we have a lot that we can control within us. A beautiful woman can change the world. So I want to invite you to take the mastermind class, The Art of Being a Woman, at the Women's School. Is for you, instead of getting there in 5 years, to get there in 6 months, in a year. Remember, knowing, watching YouTube videos here and there, reading a few books here and there, that does not equal transformation. Training equals transformation. In my mastermind groups, we role play these scripts. We role play assertive communication. We work on emotionally commanding ourselves. We work on our self-image and rewiring that so that we attract that man who sees us as gold. Join us at the Women's School, where our goal and mission is to change culture, one woman's worth at a time, and we cannot do it without you.